Hey everybody, welcome to my new page, Vinyl 101 on YouTube. Again, as I said in my last post on my Instagram page, I thank everybody for following me throughout the life of my page. It means a lot to me because, my passion in my life is music, and it's nice to see people reacting to my response, my views, or the type of music I listen to, which sometimes is taken the wrong way because it is, a lot of it is louder and aggressive and faster and metal. Anyway, so I appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody's responses to when I initially posted I was going to be transitioning from Instagram to YouTube. The album I'm reviewing for my very first post is by one of my favorite artists, an artist by the name of Ken Andrews. For those of you who've reviewed my last post, you know that my favorite all-time band is a band called Failure, which was formed by Ken Andrews, Greg Edwards, and also includes Kelly Scott on the drums. Kelly joined the band in, I think it was 92, 93-ish, prior to the recording of, it's actually once the recording for their sophomore album, Magnified, was completed. And he's obviously still in the band, still killing it on the drums. But the album I'm talking about is an album that Ken Andrews made with Tim Dow, Jeff Garber, and Solomon Snyder. That was released in 2003 initially. And I'm talking Year of the Rabbit's self-titled album, Year of the Rabbit. This is an amazing album. Year of the Rabbit was formed, unfortunately, after the demise of Failure due to infighting and other issues I'm not going to go into. But once Failure broke up, Ken Andrews went ahead and started doing his own things, mixing, engineering, and recording records. He did a solo project by the name of On and released this amazing album called Shifting Skin. It's more of a rock and, I don't want to say techno, electronic album, but it is an amazing album. But anyway, we're not talking about this, we're talking about this juggernaut. So Year of the Rabbit, once they formed, and they initially released an EP that included 4 tunes. It was this EP that was available for purchase on their initial album. The EP included, again, 4 tunes, Hunted, Rabbit Hole, Burn, and I Want to Be Adored. Hunted and Rabbit ended up being on this album, but Burn was a EP specific tune, and I Want to Be Adored was a cover, an amazing cover by of the song initially recorded by the Stone Roses. But 2003, this was finally released, and I tell you, it was a breath of fresh air. We finally had a semblance of Failure in our ears, in our headphones, in our cars. But it stood alone from Failure. It didn't have the space rocky anthems that Failure are known for and were known for prior to their breakup. Initial breakup, I should say. They're still together. But this is a great rock album with melody, dark tones about life, addiction. Unfortunately, as I just said, Failure broke up as a result of some other issues in the band, which included addiction. But this is just an amazing album. It kind of starts from a darker perspective, but what's great about it is as you get toward the end, it's, in my opinion, with songs like Say Goodbye, more uplifting and more harmony, but just amazing. I was fortunate that I got to see Year of the Rabbit twice, which is saying a lot because they weren't around very long. This was their only album that they released. It was originally released on Elektra Records, and in the early 2000s, as we all know, Netflix took over everything, destroyed the recording business and record business, and Elektra went out of business, and they were purchased by another company. But unfortunately, a lot of the bands under that Elektra moniker were released and let go, and they weren't picked up. And unfortunately, after a couple years of touring on this album, Ken finally announced on the band's website that he was disbanding the band. But why I'm reviewing this, other than it's again, like I said, one of my all-time favorite albums, is last month on Ken Andrews' website, or I should say his YouTube page, he announced that he found the recordings for this album. And people were asking for years, including myself, obviously, are we ever going to get to see a Year of the Rabbit vinyl? And when he announced it, I obviously went insane because I've been wanting this, and I've been looking all over the place to see if there's something like a bootleg or something. Don't buy bootlegs, buy them from the band. Sorry, that's just my thing. Support your bands. They need our help. Anyway, and when he announced it, it was available immediately for about a week after he announced it through online, through Hello Merch, which is Failure's it's typically an independent rock band merchandise site where the bands sell merch, records, everything else. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. I saw it immediately. I got it. It arrived within a week. I played it, and it sounded amazing, just like it did, or even better than it did when it arrived on CD for the very first time in 2003. Remember these things? But, I just love this band, and there are so many great bands, albums, or songs, I'm stuttering, I don't know what's going on this album. Like I said, I mentioned Rabbit Hole from the EP. Again, it's the first track on this album, but you've got Lie Down, Last Defense, Vaporize. Vaporize and Lie Down are probably two of my favorite tracks on this tune. They're just rockers and ragers. So I love this album. It meant so much to me. As I've said in the past, I'm a true believer that music heals the soul. This is one of those albums at that time of my life that just kept me going. I loved it. I still do. And I've rocked this album probably 15, 20 times since it arrived in the mail. But again, check this out. It's for sale on Hello Merch. It's also available on Apple Tunes and all streaming services. This is it's a great rockin' album. Continues straight from where Failure left off, but again, you get a little bit of a change in distance, which I think is good, because in my opinion, you don't want to continue directly where one band left off. It's okay to pay homage, or however the hell you pronounce it, and pay your respects and and show where you've come from. But I think it's a great idea to continue growing as a band, and in your tunes, in your music, and this is definitely that. So I've been talking forever, guys. I'm excited. I love this album. Again, check it out. You can still find a CD, I think, if you're not a record person. Buy the record. You can find it. It's not that expensive either. So, all right, guys. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a blast for my first episode, and I can't wait for the next one. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate all your support and love, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. Cheers. Bye.